hello, I saw Joker the other day and I want to talk about it now, because that's what I do with my life now, isn't it? So I'm not going to explain what Joker is. I'm sure you've probably already heard of it because it's a film about the Joker. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm just going to talk about basic plot stuff, just general stuff, no spoilers, it's fine. Just to start off with, I do think it was a good film. I'm not here to say that I didn't like the Joker, because I actually quite did enjoy it. I do think it was a bit irresponsible. First, I'm going to talk about the Joker as a character to kind of talk about the film itself. So the Joker's kind of a character that doesn't have one singular motive to pin him down. He's been written by so many different people and across so many different mediums. There are a few things that you can kind of say make up the Joker character. Number one, he's funny. Like, he tells jokes and he dresses like a clown. That's his shtick. He's called the Joker. It's kind of in the name. If your Joker character is funny, then he's probably not a bad Joker. If your Joker character isn't funny, then it's not really the Joker, is it? Number two is he laughs. Obviously, he's the Joker. He's known for laughing. He laughs a lot. If your Joker can't laugh, then he's not a Joker. Your Joker needs to laugh. That's the thing. You can't have a good Joker unless they laugh real good. Three, he really hates Batman. Usually, if there's a Batman around, the Joker really hates him just because. Or he really likes him. He's got a whole thing with Batman. He doesn't need to hate him. He just needs to have, like, strong feelings for Batman. They're in love. The fourth one is that he is a criminal kind of just for the sake of it. He's not a Batman villain where he's trying to, like, save his frozen wife or protect all the plants in the world or steal Batman's hat. Batman villains are really dumb. The character's usually about chaos. He doesn't really want anything concrete. His motives change between each issue. It doesn't really matter what he's for because it's gonna change. That's why he's such a good foil for Batman. That's why the Joker is the Batman's longest standing villain, because he is the opposite of Batman. Batman is supposed to be order and the Joker kind of is chaos. Obviously, they butt heads. It's not just someone that is mad at Batman because they want to break his back. Like, they have opposing views. It's good when you're writing to have two characters that don't agree with each other. And this kind of ties into the last one, but another reason that the Joker is really good as a villain for Batman is that he kind of embraces being insane. While Bruce Wayne likes to pretend that devoting all your life and wealth to dressing up like a bat, beating up criminals, and recruiting children is just something that anyone would do if their parents were murdered while they were 8. And number 5 is the Joker seems crazy. He seems like a crazy guy. That's his thing. He's always talking about how crazy he is, how unhinged he is. Ooh, I'm mad, I'm damaged. But that's the thing, they're not really mentally ill, usually. Most of the Jokers have really solid plans in place and do very logical things. They don't have the kind of disordered thinking that you'd see in someone with the vague, like, mental issues that he is supposed to have, which is something that this film missed. Like, the Joker in this film is crazy insane, but it's not really any specifically defined mental issue. He's just, oh, he's hallucinating stuff and he's crazy. He's gonna do crimes now. He doesn't have any mental illness that's defined other than this neurological condition that makes him laugh at the worst possible times, which is more or less used as a plot device rather than like an actual character thing. His mum tells him to smile and be happy, but also he has this condition where he has to laugh at the worst possible time as well. You can just have one of them and it does the same job. But that's the thing though, it's really hard to make a serious film about a silly character. The Nolan Batman films are good films and they're really well made, but they're still a little bit silly. They're not like Dunkirk, you know? They're more Inception, where it's like, let's take a weird idea and just do it. It's difficult to take a silly character like Batman or the Joker and just do it straight up without it being a little bit silly. The film took itself too seriously sometimes, and I was just sitting there like, yeah, but he's gonna dress up like a clown and start killing people. I can't take it 100% seriously, because it is just a silly concept. There wasn't enough humor in it. I feel like you need to make the film funny if it's a film about the Joker, because if it's not at least a little bit funny, it's not really a very good Joker film, because one of the things, like I said earlier, is that he is funny. This is the obligatory moment where I say that Joaquin Phoenix was really good in the role. I genuinely think it was the best performance that was given by any Joker actor. Probably because the character had more room to breathe because the film was entirely about him. As you've probably guessed from the entirety of this video, I really liked the film, but I kind of had one issue with it, and it is just one issue. I think this film kind of validates the fantasy of pretty much every domestic white terrorist. You know, the guys that shoot up a school or a church or a Walmart and write a manifesto. This film is kind of made for them to say, hey, you're right. You should do that. Which is irresponsible, I think. Bear in mind, I'm not saying that's the way that I read the film myself, or that that's the only way that it can be read. I just feel like it's far too easy to read it that way, and it doesn't do enough to say, hey, hold on, this Joker guy is a bad guy. And that sounds crazy because it's a guy that kills people and dresses like a clown. You shouldn't need to say this is a bad guy. But because the performance is so sympathetic, and this story is something that we've seen quite a lot before, you know, on the news, like a lot recently, it's kind of dangerous to make that mindset even remotely empathetic. It could have real world consequences by doing that. I'm not saying that we should ban these kind of films. I'm just saying that if you're a filmmaker, maybe be more careful about the kind of ideas that you're putting out there. This film gives people the rhetoric to become a school shooter. It gives you the thoughts and phrases that you need to build that kind of ethos, but it doesn't do anything to tear that down. The film paints society as the problem, which isn't untrue, but it gives the solution to society being the problem as killing people so that society listens to you and changes. But because it's ambiguous in its ending, it doesn't really denounce that idea enough. If you're someone that is in that vulnerable position and you watch the film, I fully believe that it could start you on that path. If you want to read it as the Joker won and he got his way, then you can. And yes, it's a film about a man that has some vague mental illness and dresses up like a clown and then effectively becomes a terrorist. And that is a kind of silly thing. But unfortunately, it's something that's a bit too real. That's not too far off of reality. It's something that they see that validates them. You know, I was talking to one of my friends about this, and we kind of came to the conclusion that if this film wasn't about the Joker, it would be a lot better, but also a lot worse. If this film wasn't called Joker and it wasn't about the Batman character, I don't think people would be receiving it the way that they are. I think people would be thinking a little more deeply and a little more differently about what the film is actually saying. So that's what I thought. It's a good film, but I think it could be a little bit irresponsible. What do you think? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Let me know in the comments, or don't let me know in the comments. Live your life. I don't really care. Goodbye.